Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Darkest Timeline podcast, so, it's going to be me ranting about something. Or lots of things, maybe. I'm sure I can fit some talk about games and movies and other things in, something to lighten the mood, but let's face it, I'm probably going to be banging on about bad drivers or something. If you're checking us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts, please do subscribe. It's a massive help to us. It's a massive help to the channel. And it's what all the cool kids are doing. So here we go. This is CookieCast, the Darkest Timeline podcast. Hello? Can you hear me? Good. It looks like you can hear me. Yes, I'm still in the bunker. At this point in time, I think I've basically lost an entire room of my house. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a very long story, one I won't bore you with. How are you doing? How's your week been? How's your week going? Could just be the start of the week. If you're getting this new and fresh, it would be the start of the week. Oh, for me, it is currently 9:30 at night, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm just settling into, to unburden myself and burden you people. That sounds terrible. Oh, let's have a look. So the list this week is heavily leaning towards like what's been going on in the last week. And not so heavily leaning towards the entertainment stuff. And there's a reason for that, and we'll get to that. But the way it works is I had half of last week off, half term, spend time with my lovely children. But we'll get to all of that shortly. Let's talk about reviews. Reviews are a funny thing. So, if like me, you have been to that little known website, Amazon, to buy anything before, maybe like me, you are a person that likes to check the reviews. You're always looking for that 5-star review with 9,000 reviews, or anything over 4 stars is good. You probably wouldn't buy a product that was, lower than 3 stars or something. And if you ever do, you generally find out why lower than 3 stars. Through the course of this, I'm going to be talking about several companies. And as I don't want to affect anybody else's experiences with any companies, I generally leave the company names out. There may be a point where I end up talking about individuals or individuals that represent a company. Again, I'm not going to be using any names. Often those are the times when I myself personally have had a negative experience. So, I'm going to break it down for you. A couple of months ago, I had an MOT done on the car. And amazingly, the car passed its MOT. However, there was the dreaded advisories, and the advisories were very much 3 of your 4 tyres need replacing fairly soon, but not soon enough to fail your MOT. You've got a couple of other minor issues, again, not enough to fail an MOT. Probably want to get them looked at before your next MOT. So I set a point in time where I was like, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort out the tyres at this specific point in time. I am now wondering if, because that'll have been a couple of weeks ago. Did I talk about the car battery? Yeah, I talked about, yeah. I'm just checking last week's list, and on there is about car breakdown. So follow me here. The battery died. The battery had to be replaced. £215 for a new battery. Then there was the tyre situation. So I was like, right, I need to replace. Initially, I thought it was 2 tyres. Then when I looked at the advisories, it was like, oh, it's actually 3 tyres, which already puts it into your head, is it worth just replacing 4 tyres? Make sure they're all the same sort of deal. So, I took to the internet. Away I went to the internet. Tyres in my local area. Reason being is that the garage that I use or have been using more recently said, you need to get some tyres replaced. Don't come to us because we don't really do tyre fittings. We can, but we don't hold tyres on hand, so we'd have to order them and we would charge you for that. Then we'd charge you fitting and stuff. You can probably get it done cheaper elsewhere, which is a nice thing for them to say, rather than, oh, we'll sort it for you, and then just charge you through the nose. So I knew that I couldn't go to them for the tyres. So I was like, right, took to the internet, tell me where to get tyres from. So obviously you find these various different websites that are like, here's a list of all of the places in your area that can do tyres, and here are the reviews. So first one is like 4 stars off 3 reviews. Like, not great. Next one's like 5 stars off 2 reviews, and then you've got one that's 4 stars off, and it goes like this. And then there, tucked away, nestled in the middle, is 5-star review with loads of reviews, and you read the reviews, and they're glowing reviews. This is the place for me. I even said, this is the place for me. Made a booking. Made a payment, which was the... I'm not going to lie, I didn't feel overly comfortable about this. I had to pay for it all up front. Something to do with, like, basically the company I was doing it through, they order the tyres and then they send those tyres to the place where you go and have it done, so that they're there for when you arrive on the day that you've booked. Tucked in these 5-star reviews, there was one review that said, oh, it was a great place. It's a great place. It's a fantastic place. It's a great place. However, I booked through another company, very much like I had, and when I arrived, they had no record of my booking, and obviously no tyres. And I was like, oh, I'll make a mental note of that, as you should too, dear listener. So, comes up to the day, I take the car, I am very early. I ended up just driving around. There was nowhere to really, nowhere to wait. So I thought originally, but then I found somewhere to wait eventually. Waited about 10 minutes. Drove into the garage, which I'm not gonna lie, not the easiest thing to do. But I did it, pulled it off. I went into the office, put a mask on, go into the office. Hi, I'm here to have 3 tyres fitted to my car. And straight away I was like, 3 tyres? I was like, yeah, 3 tyres. Which 3 tyres? I was like, here's the advisory I got from my MOT. Okay, this one, and this one. And they started doing that, 3 tyres, wear and tear. I was like, look, if it's easier to have 4 tyres done, if the best thing to do is have 4 tyres done, then I'll just pay the difference and you can pop 4 tyres on for me. Right, okay, that might be the best thing to do. Right, that's fine, I'll do that. So, I go back to the office, start getting stuff sorted. Right, I'll go and find the tyres. So the guy went away, the guy came back. Oh, I've no idea where these tyres are. I was like, here we go. So I checked some paperwork and he went away again. And he came back. Oh, I can't find these tyres. It's like, starting to remember that one review that was a little bit sketchy. Went away, came back. I have no idea where these tyres are. So 25 minutes I've been waiting at this point. And, the guy can't find the tyres. He's like, where did you book it through? I was like, I booked it here. Okay. And, I've got a thing here that says we're supposed to have the tyres. So here's what I can do for you. What I can do for you is if you want to cancel the order, I will just fit you a couple of tyres that I've got here on the 2 most pressing, and then come back in a couple of days, get another couple of tyres fitted. I'm like, yeah? Okay, so I phoned the company that I booked it through. Oh, what's the situation? I was like, well, they ain't got the tyres, so they want me to cancel the order with you, and then they want me to basically get tyres through them. Let me check the system. So, check the system, comes back. Somebody at the branch where you are now has signed for the tyres. Can I speak to somebody there? Yeah, you can speak to somebody there. So I gave the phone to the guy. Oh, they want to talk to you because they're saying that the tyres were received. So the guy goes through the stuff. I have no idea where the tyres are. Somebody else has signed for them. It wasn't me. They're not here. They're off sick. So passes the phone back to me. He's like, she wants to speak to you. So the lady's like, look, you said you're going to get 2 now from the garage, and then you're going to come back and get 2. I'm like, yes, I am. Right, well, why don't we reduce your order down from 3 to 2, refund you one of the tyres, the value that you've paid for one of the tyres, and then in a few days when they find the tyres, just come back and have those tyres put on. Right, okay. Now in my head I'm like, I've already paid out for these tyres, but I'm going to get a refund on one of them, but then I'm going to have to pay out for 2 tyres now. So then we get the whole, obviously your refund will take X number of days. So I'm like, okay, fine. So that was that. The guy's like, right, leave it with me for an hour, come back. Okay, I'll do that. So I go, wander into town, do a couple of jobs in town, come back, pick the car up, pay the guy, and away we go. I phoned the company. That afternoon, they were like, we've confirmed with the garage that the tyres were signed for, but they obviously are saying they can't find them, so you need to contact them tomorrow and arrange with them to get your other tyres done. Okay, I can do that. Wait till the next day. Phone them. Got the same guy. He's like, oh, I remember. Yeah, I haven't got those tyres. But if you want to book in tomorrow, I can do the exact same thing that I did for you. I'll give you 2 of our tyres. And then that's that done. Just cancel your order with the original company. And that's that. So, phone the original company. They're like, oh, okay, fine. If you want to cancel your order, that's fine. Yes, let me cancel my order. Okay. Obviously, it's going to take a few days for the money to come back. All right, okay. All I can think at this point is, I'm not getting that money back, but I now have to pay out for the other 2 tyres. Wonderful. Take the car the next day. Drop the car in. Guy's like, leave it with me. Can you leave it with me for like, the rest of the day or whatever? I'm like, yeah, sure. Phoned up in the afternoon. I was like, oh, is my car ready? He's like, there's a problem. I'm like, of course there's a problem. I've done one of them, but I tried to get the other wheel off and I can't because the wheel nut won't get the wheel off. Right, fine. So I go back to pick the car up. The guy shows me you can't get the locking nut on the wheel. He's like, you need to take it to a garage and get them to do it. I'm like, cool. So I've already got it booked in to get the alarm looked at. So I phoned the garage today and I'm like, I've got the car booked in to look at the alarm. Can you also look at the wheel? Because I can't get the locking nut off. They're like, well, that's strange. Like, yeah, that's strange. Yeah, we'll have a look at it for you. So yeah, I've paid like best part of £500 for 3 of 4 tyres. It's okay because the 4th one's got 500 miles left on it, but can't get the wheel off. So there's that. Yeah. Exceptional experience. I am here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, 5-star reviews aren't always what they're cracked up to be. Something I remember talking about this a while ago, and you ever have those points in time where you just start to wonder if you might be cursed? There's been so much shit going on at the moment. The car is this never-ending fucking money pit, time, whatever. Pretty sure when I was driving back, there ended up being an issue with the brakes, which, touch wood, seems to have sorted itself out. But I know that car is not right at the moment. And I already know that I'm going to take it tomorrow and they're going to be like, we can't find anything wrong with the alarm and we can't get the wheel nut off. So you're going to have to take it to like a registered dealer who are going to charge you an absolute fortune to get it sorted. But it's just everything at the moment. Everything feels like a curse. Like at one point I was saying to people, I was like, I need to find somewhere that I can find a live chicken and look up a ritual that involves me sacrificing a live chicken to cure this curse, because Jesus, the curse is strong in this one. Like I say, this isn't the first time I've talked about curses. So I reached a point recently where I was like, I couldn't solve the problem with the dog walking. It had just got too far away from me to bring it back to solve the problem with the dog walking, and I was absolutely tearing my hair out. So I was like, right, we need some help here. So I contacted what was apparently the 3 best dog trainers in York. And I got quotes from all 3. Now, in hindsight, I fucked up partway through the process. Because of the top 3, one of them said, "Oh, we'll come to you. You don't have to come to us. We do everything one-on-one, and we'll come to your house, and we'll see how the dog operates." All of this. And I was like, that's what I want. Somebody needs to come, see this dog on a walk, and sort it out. And they came back to me before I'd got all 3 quotes. And I got their quote, and then I got a second one, and the second quote was 3 times, between 3 and 5 times more expensive than this quote from the place that I wanted. And I'm like, well, there we go, that's that solved. Contacted them, I was like, can you please come and see my dog? They were like, oh yeah, we can come in about 10 days. I was like, 10 days? They're like, is it an emergency? I was like, put it down as an emergency, because I don't know if I can carry on like this. So they were like, right, somebody will contact you. So somebody contacted me. These are the dates I can do. And one of the dates was last Friday. Obviously, like I say, I wasn't at work. I'm like, this is perfect. Get the whole situation solved in one foul swoop. So I was like, yeah, come on Friday. Brilliant. Fantastic. Then the 3rd dog trainer contacted me. Hi. We can come to your house to see you. I was like, damn it. And then quoted me £50 less. So I was like, shit. Anyway, what's done is done. Let's move on. Now then, I have to caveat the rest of this bit. What I'm about to talk about is quite controversial. I'm being very serious at this point in time. Feel free to look it up. What I'm about to talk about is very controversial. And at this point in time, I haven't finished doing my research on this. So take heed my warning. So dog trainer comes. Everything I've read about is like always go positive only dog trainer. So I was saying to this dog trainer that came, I was like, I was always recommended positive only dog trainer. Round about this point in time, I realised that I didn't check this beforehand. And the dog trainer was like, okay, well, I'm a balanced dog trainer. Now, I didn't know what a balanced dog trainer was at the time. In hindsight, I did, but I didn't know that I did. I was like, oh, okay. So they were like, what we believe in is we believe in rewarding good behaviour. I was like, oh, that sounds good. And correcting bad behaviour. I was like, oh, well, that sounds okay. They're like, oh, it's just about having the right tools for the right job. I was like, okay, that sounds good. I was like, can my eldest come and join us? Oh, yes, that's no problem. I've brought a dog with me. I've brought some tools. We're going to get this sorted. I'm like, cool. This sounds great. So we're leaving the house. I'm like, this is what we do for this, and this is what we do for that. And she's like, oh, that's good. Maybe, correct this, correct that. So she's like, I'm going to put a slip collar on. So anybody that doesn't know dogs, doesn't know dog leads and stuff like that, slip collar is just a little collar. Just goes on over the head. And you just make it tight, and then you clip a lead to it. Simple. Goes around the neck. It's like I'm trying not to say it's like a noose, because that would obviously give a. It's just a little collar. She's like, what you can do is you can just give it a little tug, lets him know what he's doing wrong, all this. She's like, I correct him for this. Don't allow that sort of stuff. I'm like, okay, this is sounding perfect to me. So we go out and we do X number of training things. We do a bit of a walk. And the dog trainer's like, he's not terrible. He just needs correcting. I'm like, okay, right. That's okay. Maybe I'm just being overly harsh. So she's like, right, let's get the other dog, because you say that he really struggles with other dogs. I was like, oh, he really does struggle with other dogs. She's like, right, I'm going to get the dog. Brings out this little dog. And she's like, right, I'll take your dog. Your eldest can take my dog. And we'll just do a bit of walking past the dog sort of stuff. But very much like myself, she couldn't get my dog, my puppy, to do what she wanted. So she was correcting him. And he like whenever I take him out, he's just having absolutely nothing to do with it. So she was like, right, we need to use a different tool for the job. And she's like, we need to use this tool, and this is a corrective tool. It's going to make things a lot easier. And this was the thing. She was like, there's a lot of controversy around this sort of thing, but I assure you, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just a corrective tool. Evenly spreads the pressure that you put on them. You're going to be able to correct them a lot easier, and it just cuts through a lot of the bullshit, basically. I was like, oh, okay. Thinking, controversial dog collar. I was thinking it was going to be like those spiked ones that you used to get for big dogs, but turned inside out or something. But it was just it was just she went through some of the controversy and how this is all part of balanced dog training. So put this collar on. Clipped it to the lead, kept the other collar on as well, clipped that onto the lead, everything's on. And away we go. Using this collar for correction and correcting. And everything seems to fall into place. And I'm like, cool beans. And away we go off for a walk, just correct this. High value treat for good stuff. We're laughing. So we get back, we get finished. He's like, right, I'm going to send you some links so you can get one of these collars. It's a corrective tool, and it's going to solve your problem. And away she went. I paid her handsomely, and away she went. And I'm like, cool, problem solved. Away we go. Brilliant. Some might say this was the point in time where I made this mistake. The mistake was I began researching the controversy and the issues, the pros and the cons, everything to do with the corrective collar, the tool that she had recommended. And I can safely say I don't think there is anything that I've ever come across, other than maybe, reviews for tyre places, that is more divided. So any dog-based organisation say that these things should be illegal, that they are harmful, they're cruel, they're awful devices. There is literally half of the dog trainers in the world say that they're a great tool and they have a really good effect and really good outcome. They can really help for certain dogs, especially dogs with really bad reactivity. And then there's the other half of the dog trainers in the world who say that they're the worst thing ever to be invented or introduced into dog training. And I'm like, what? And then I started piecing things together and I started working back through my memory. And I'm like, crap. And that's where I start piecing together that not one, but two of the dog trainers that I follow on social media, on the internet, YouTube, places like that, I've said previously about being balanced dog trainers. I've said previously about using the same corrective tool. I then went on to mysteriously just so happened to find multiple videos from these particular dog trainers, all of them talking about this tool. And I'm like, crap. So there we go. I am now in a world where I research and I look up and I investigate and I read and I watch videos, and it is the single most 50-50 thing in the world. But I can say two things for absolute definite. One, when I took the puppy out on this collar with a lead, best behaved he's ever been. So that's the first thing. And, I imagine the people, the positive only dog trainers will say, well, you're causing harm to this animal. That's where the controversy is. I didn't, he didn't make a single sound. There was no whimper. He was just like, okay, we're doing this. Cool. Number two, my second observation is this. My puppy has a tendency to be able to go for about 3 days. After you do like specific training with him, like, I'm going to teach you to walk properly and you're going to do it like this. And he goes, cool, I'm going to do it like that. The most he can make it is about 3 days. And then he just goes, yeah, I'm done with this now. I'm going to go off and do my own thing. So, dog trainer came on Friday. I took him out for a walk this afternoon, and today is Monday. And he was like, yeah, I'm done with this now. So I'm like, maybe there's something to it, but then half the people that will tell you that it's it's not right, and the other half of people tell you that there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And I'm there sat in the middle, like, can somebody just please give me an answer on this one? My point will always be the same. At no point in time do I ever want any harm or hurt or anything to come to an animal. That also involves, like, when I'm like, I'm tearing my own hair out because he just can't do what he needs to. So who knows on this one? Who knows? Not I. So, I mentioned earlier about how I paid for something and then I asked for a refund. So this has happened 3 times in the last few days. Paid for the tyres. Got a refund on one of the tyres. Which at this point in time, bearing in mind it was Wednesday. And today is Monday. Still haven't had that refund. Obviously then they had to refund the other 2 tyres on Friday, and today is Monday. Still don't have that refund. Took all the children to the cinema on Saturday. Paid for all of the tickets. Realised that the time I'd booked it for was probably not the best time to go, so did a refund on those so that I could then book the right time, and was told, oh yeah, that payment will go back into your account in 10 days. But then I had to pay out for the tickets again to rebook them. What exactly is the fucking deal with this shit? And why is this allowed to be a thing? What is it about all the things in the world at the moment that we just accept? So here's how it works. Works the same way as if the garage had been like, oh yeah, we're going to do your tyres for you. I'm like, cool. Can you do those tyres and I'll pay you in 10 days? While that money sits in my account and gathers interest. Because that's all it is. A company sees that they are losing out in some way, bearing in mind that the cinema didn't lose out. I rebooked those tickets. So what did they lose out on? Obviously they didn't know that I rebooked them. But all it is we're going to keep your money, make interest off the back of it, and then pay it out to you so that we can recoup money for nothing. But we allow that to happen. We allow that to go on. We allow these companies to keep our money, making interest off the back of them, bearing in mind, the majority of the time you've had to do X amount of giving them your details. So they're making money off the back of that as well. So why? One of the things, I checked one of the things and they're like, we'll send the money back to the original account that the money came from. It can take up to 14 days. The last time I checked, money transfers were instant money transfers. Why the fuck would it take 14 days? Because you're like, somebody has to do that. No, they don't. It's an automated process. It just pays the money back. What in actual fact you're doing is you're putting that money to one side and holding on to it so that it can generate as much interest as possible for you. But we accept it. We allow it. It's just one of those things. No. It's not just one of those things. It's yet another example of people just getting fucked over and accepting it. Yeah, why not? Why don't you keep my money? What if you haven't processed the refund and after 14 days people have forgotten about it? Because that's the other one you're hoping for. Maybe if we don't put, maybe 1 in 10 payments we don't push through. You might forget. It might get lost in your banking. I'm currently now in a position where I'm sitting waiting for 300 and something pounds to just, be paid back when a company feels like it. Companies feel like it. Cool. That's That's fun. That's acceptable, isn't it? Apparently so. So, half term, spent time with my children. Saturday was a big day. We went to the cinema. I'll talk about the film we saw in a bit. We went to a toy shop. Hands down, one of the best shopping experiences I've had with 3 children. And we went for a meal. So, one of those, it was like, oh my God, we've got all this stuff to fit in. We've got no time to do it, but we're going to try and do it anyway. And things just slotted into place nicely. We managed to get across to the cinema with plenty of time to get seated. So much so that they hadn't even finished cleaning the screen while we were waiting. Got in, got our seats, got sat down, watched a bajillion trailers for absolute garbage. The moment they decided to put adverts on before the trailers, the person that came up with that fresh hell needs taken out into the street and stoned to death. Then obviously got your trailers, various things. It's like, I could take the girls to see that. Then you got your movie, job done. So we leave the movie, we go to the toy shop. I'm like, right, we've got 20 minutes to find toys for everybody. You've got birthday money, you've got Christmas money, you've got money in a money box from when you were born. Let's spend some of this money. Let's get someone through some of this money. And literally, I think we were there about 5 minutes and everybody was holding a toy. I'm like, what is happening right now? We got paid, we got back out, we got back in the car. I'm like, this is going well. We go to the restaurant, we sit down, we get there, they seat us, we order, there's not many people there, they bring us food. And I'm sitting and I'm like, well, there you go. There you go. Not everything's, fire and brimstone. Not everything's cursed. Not everything, Sometimes you just have to relax and let the chips fall where they may. I enjoyed the company of my children. I enjoyed being in a restaurant that wasn't overly busy at that point in time because we'd gone a bit earlier. The food. I was cheeky. I ordered some food. I had any lunch. It was tea time, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to get a little side, just a side. And as I sat there, breathing in the day, the environment, the situation, I was like, this is nice. And my eldest daughter had clearly sensed that I was taking a moment to enjoy the time and was like, oops, you shouldn't have done that, should you? I can feel myself getting upset already, but I feel it's difficult. I feel sorry. It was just that moment of, oh, this is nice, and then, oh, okay, no, I guess that's over then. I guess that's done with. Tough times, difficult times. But you strap yourself in, you move on, and managed to get through the meal, get out the other side, get in the car, drive home, get everybody home, reasonable time, sent half of them off to bed, that sort of deal. But at times like that I'm like, this is why you shouldn't go, oh, this is nice. This is why you shouldn't say. I didn't even say it out loud. I just, I thought, oh, this is nice. This has been a nice day. But hey, someone once said, this is why we can't have nice things. Another one of those moments where, as a parent, as a father, so I'm like, I think I'd taken the dog for a walk and it was absolutely throwing it down. So I'm like, right, get back, get changed. I go upstairs to get changed. And I was like, oh my God, I've got this thing here that I've been meaning to show to my eldest for ages now. So I called down to her. I was like, oh, come on, look at this. I've got this thing to show you. And I was really excited. I was like, here, come here. I've been meaning to show you this for ages. What is it? I was like, oh, look. Have you seen this box before? Like, I've seen it, but I don't know what it is. I was like, okay. So I lifted the lid off and I was like, look. And it was my comic box. And I've always looked at this box as kind of like a legacy thing. Like, one day, one of them will come to me and be like, oh, Dad, I really want to get into comics. And I'll be like, well, come this way. Let me show you this. And I was like, look, there's all sorts of stuff in here. Some of this stuff's, worth money. And, this is like a legacy thing. One day all this will be yours. And she couldn't have cared less. And then, there's a point in my life where that would have upset me. But instead it just amused me. I was like, of course that's the situation. Of course she's not going to care in the slightest. I was like, oh, look at this comic, look at that comic. And she was like, uh-huh. Anyway, there's a box of comics, She's like, cool. Wandered off. It's like, nice one. Cheers for that. We did the Halloween. It was Halloween yesterday. We did the Halloween. I think it was fair. Halloween's not like it was when I was a lad. Halloween's not that way. Halloween was like this big thing. And, as I'm always saying, why do we wait for the children to go back to school after the summer holidays so that we can just then talk about Christmas for 6 months? When there's Halloween and bonfire night and, you get fireworks and all of that stuff. Why is it? And then you get that, conversations crop up, don't they? It's like, oh, trick or treating. Oh, you can't go trick or treating these days. That's not a thing you can do. Well, we carved pumpkins. We played games. We watched Halloween movies. We made Halloween food. I think it was like a Halloween cookie to decorate type thing. We had a Halloween quiz. Everybody won prizes. Get something out of the cauldron. Everybody got a prize. When somebody won a game, they got a prize. All that. And then that was that. Halloween done for another year. Done and dusted. It was quite nice. Like, I was out a couple of times today walking the dog, and people still got the Halloween stuff out because I'm weird. I'm the kind of guy that's like, why have you got your Christmas tree up on the 1st of December? But if I see Halloween stuff a week in advance, I'm like, oh, look, they're getting in the spirit of things. So, I guess I'm just weird. But yeah, I saw some awesome pumpkins out on my travels today. 2 or 3 houses like properly got into like the decorating, like from the outside and stuff. I was like, that's what it's all about. That's the fun. That's where the fun is. So, yeah, Halloween done for another year. So I watched a couple of films, as you might have guessed. Watched a film at the cinema. So Halloween, and I was like, if we all watch the animated Addams Family, Addams Family 1, that means we can go to the cinema and watch Addams Family 2. So I managed to convince everybody to sit down and watch Addams Family 1, which meant that we could go and see the second one. Now, the difference between the first and second one is when watching the first one at home, I obviously didn't see any of it. So I can't tell you what that one was about. I think it was something to do with the Addams Family not being overly accepted in the town that they lived. Shocker. So we went and watched the second Addams Family at the cinema. All the girls enjoyed it. I didn't overly enjoy it. I found the story to be super flimsy. It's at this point in time that I'm very much like, who is the Addams Family for these days? Like, for somebody my age, absolutely. You know, I grew up with the Addams Family. The TV show was on, you know, in my lifetime. The live action films were a thing. I went to see certainly one, if not both of them, at the cinema. But kids these days have no clue who these characters are. It's like when they did the new version of Space Jam. Like, kids these days don't know who Bugs Bunny is. Or the Porky Pig or Daffy Duck or anybody like that. Taz. So I was very much like, who is this film actually for at this point in time? There was some amusing, it was amusing, it was enjoyable. It amuses me greatly that Snoop Dogg is Cousin It. That's always funny. But yeah, not a film I'm going to rush out and buy or watch again, if I'm honest. Whereas when we went to see the Croods 2, that was definitely one on my list to probably purchase at some point. Me and my eldest watched DC animated movie, Wonder Woman, called Wonder Woman Bloodlines. I thought it was alright. I've never seen this one before. It's the first one that me and my eldest have watched. That I've not seen it before. I was kind of trusting in the process that there wasn't going to be anything in it that was out of her, out of the realms that she could watch it. There are a couple of things in it that was a bit like, a bit close, but the rest of it was fine. Honestly, I'm never a massive fan when they redo an origin story. I would far rather see like a new story, like a new version, you've got these characters and they've got this like huge catalogue of stuff. Why do we need to see, Superman's origin story again? So I'm always a bit like, when it's like, and this was a Wonder Woman origin story. It's like, oh really? But it's also the newer version of Wonder Woman, like the new 52 kind of era Wonder Woman. And it just felt like that was a little bit disjointed, like doing an origin on a newer version of Wonder Woman just seemed a bit weird. But yeah, there was some mystery, there was some twists in it, and generally I found it to be quite enjoyable. So if you're into DC animated movies and you like Wonder Woman, feel free to check that one out. No VR, I'm afraid, this week. As I'm sure you could imagine, time is not my friend at the moment. Obviously, still dealing with injuries, broken bones and the like, and just the never-ending, just non-stop list of jobs that needs doing. When I have been able to, I have played console games, and the game I'm playing at the moment is Far Cry 6. I'm sticking to what I originally said about this game. I do think this game is better than 4, 5, and whatever that horse shit was that they released after 5. It's fun, it's entertaining, it keeps you engaged. It's got different types of missions. You know, are you going to go and take over a base, or are you going to go on like a mystery hunt, like a treasure hunt type thing? It is, in fact, it is a treasure hunt. Take out a big anti-aircraft gun. Something I do wish. I wish there was more access to helicopters and flying vehicles. It's very difficult to get flying vehicles when you want them. You can get a car, like you just say, send me a car, and they send you a car. But you have to go to specific places on the map to get air vehicles. And there's some really cool ones. There's like I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a seat that you sit in, and then it's got like 2 massive, like the drone propellers on the front and the back, and you fly around like that, like a mini helicopter type thing. It's fun, and as we know, that's the thing missing from games these days. If I had to estimate, I'd say I was probably halfway through it. It is a game that doesn't... I find I have to look up, like, basic things. Like I had to look up yesterday, bearing in mind how long I've been playing this game and how much I've played it, I had to look up yesterday how exactly you go about getting upgrades for guns. Because I kept going to like upgrade a particular gun. And it's like, oh, you don't have enough, you don't have, there's not a way to upgrade it. And I was like, what? But it turns out it's like a currency-based thing. You need like materials and that sort of stuff. Once I realised that, it became a bit easier. At one point in time, I couldn't find the shop. And I had to look up where the shop was. There's one of these things, I've got this mission. It's like, oh, you can only do this mission at night. Okay, I've got no way of changing the time of day. So what, you just want me to wait until it's night time? And then you can guarantee I just go off and do a different mission, and then it's like night, and I'm doing something else. I'm like, well, I can't go and do it now, can I? There's just like little things, little niggles like that. Other than that, it's very fun. It's very enjoyable. I have toyed with the idea of picking up the Guardians of the Galaxy game. I hear it's supposed to be okay. However, I think being on with Far Cry at the moment is keeping me just about engaged enough. So I'm probably going to stick with that for now. Obviously, I need to go back to the director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima as well. So I might even wait to just add it to the old Christmas list, maybe. We shall see. There we go. That's the podcast for this week. Sorry if I was a little bit vague about certain things. Sometimes I find it difficult to talk about certain aspects. And obviously talking about anything controversial, as I would want to stay away from anything controversial. But, I'm torn between trying to give you the information and, other things. Anyway, I'm going to catch you next time. See ya! So there you go, what do you think to that? Another one done. Another week done. Another week closer to Christmas. Yeah, I said it. Thank you for listening along with me. And wherever you get your podcasts, do subscribe, like, share and comment. You can also check out our website, thecookiecast.com. Got social media links, email links. There's links, people. There's links. That's it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.